Hey pals, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite albums. And today I'm going to do an album review on the latest Florida Georgia Line album, Life Rose On. Life Rose On. So, Florida Georgia Line is a country duo from the United States of America, and they make bro country as well. And if you've remembered correctly, Sam Hunt released South Side last year, and it was so terrible. It was so cringy. It was so poorly written, poorly performed. It became the worst album of the year, in my opinion. I hate this album. Okay, I hate this album. And going into country music, of course, I do not enjoy country music as much as I do other genres, but country music has proven itself to have the potential of being great. Like last year, Chris Stapleton released Starting Over, which is a country album, and it's pretty great. But I can't say that for this new Florida Georgia Line album. It's it's bland, it's sometimes cringy, it's sometimes tacky, and it pretty much falls into the same faults as Sam Hunt's Southside. Except I think this album is a little bit better written, a little bit better performed. That being said though, this album is still pretty terrible. This album sounds like if Chainsmokers made country music, because it's just so cheap. It's so cheap on such an unintellectual level. It's actually impressive. The lyrical ideas on this album are so dry. They're so drab and repetitive. It's actually kind of shocking. You can basically sum up the lyrics of this entire album in 3 words: women, trucks, and beer. And it's just the most stupid American stereotype ever, and this album just reinforces it by 100 times. So we have the first 2 tracks, Long Live and Laugh Looks Good. The former is a mid-paced country rock track with lyrics about trucks and beers. And for some weird reason, there's a trap beat on this track, but it's so quiet. It doesn't really add anything to the beat of this track or the melody of this track at all. It's just there, and it's super quiet. It's very buried deep into the mix. It's almost like it doesn't exist, but it's there. There's a trap beat in the back for no reason. It's crazy. And then we have Life Looks Good, which is a pretty fun track with a nice honky groove, and the performances are okay, not really all that bad. And the album just goes downhill from here. The track Countryside has these weary chords, which are actually pretty nice. Like when I heard this track, I thought, well, the chords are actually not bad until you hear the sequenced beats and the hooks of this thing, which are like rap hooks, which are like hip hop hooks, but countryfied, redneckified. And we have lyrics about getting down where the corn grows. Again. Last year, Sam Hunt was doing things in the wheat fields. Now these guys are getting down where the corn grows. Am I missing something? Is this what people do? Just fucking just fucking in the crop fields. And then we have the track Always Gonna Love You, which is this very this emotional, like, not really emotional. It's just a song, it's as basic as it gets. And the hook of this track, always gonna love you. It's awful. It's awful. And then we have the track I love my country. And I like that they incorporated banjos and drums together to make a rock banger. It's cool. But once again, it's so stupidly stereotypical, and in the most cheap and generic way possible. We're loud and proud and riding through town. It's really repellent. The track Hard to Get to Heaven is this airy, spacey ballad, and the way the hooks and melodies are delivered reads like it's a countrified version of one of the random pop hits in the top 40 Billboard's hits or something. It's really basic. Just as basic and bland as generic would be the next track, Long Time Comin', which is a track about after a long day of work, after a long week of work, I'm getting down to some lovin'. Which is basically the concept of this track. And we have a 27-second long interlude, which basically adds to nothing. And we have the track Ain't Worried About It, which is another one of those tracks where they tried to sort of fuse the country genre together with more millennial or Gen Z styled sort of mainstream hit track with the muffled vocals at first, and slowly it gets clearer, like it's one of those like one of the hottest trap beats is about to drop or something. And of course we got the sequenced beats, and we got the hook of this thing. Just don't worry about nothing. Just don't worry about nothing. And then we have the hook of this thing, this spoken word thing that they do, and it's so derivative of mainstream hip hop, and yet it sounds so corny and tacky in a country context. Bills stacked, money's tight, and it gets even worse on the next track. It's called Beer: 30, and the track starts off with beer 30 and I'm thirsty. But thank God they're a little self-aware on this track, because this track is actually kind of comedic. The second half of this track is basically a bunch of raging country rock riffs, which is a pretty okay idea, but that doesn't distract away from the fact that this track lyrically and melodically is still cheap and basic as hell. The next track is called New Truck. Of course, one of these tracks has to be about trucks. And it's a country trap banger that's almost modeled after, like, oh wow, Lil Nas X made Old Town Road, and country trap. Let's go. And this track just came off once again really basic and really drab. And then we have the track Eyes Closed, which is another song about making love, but this time it's making love after turning the lights off, and that is the entire song. And not only is it lyrically really similar to Long Time Comin', it sounds exactly the same as Long Time Comin'. It's almost like a part 2. It's like a reprise, a reprise, except it's not. Then we have the track Second Guessing from Songland. Is Songland like a movie or something? And it's another really bland and generic country ballad that sounds exactly the same as the previous country ballads. And then we have the track Good to Me, and again, very basic, but what really steals the show on this track are the lyrics. And on this track, the lyrics are basically, well, God is being good to you. He's being good to you. Why? Because you got a girl, and you got a truck, and you're good. You got nothing else to worry about. And it's just and the second last track is called US Stronger, like Us Stronger, but Us is US, which is this very patriotic ballad about how America is so strong and how he's so proud of the country, and how America at some point is just broken by the outside forces. Oh my God, so many foreign countries are tearing down the country. Oh my God. But no, America's strongest country in the world. When in fact, if you look at the internet and other platforms, you realize that America is like one of the most dominating cultures in the entire world right now. And the album ends off with Life Rolls On, which is basically a very dense collection of country cliches, again with the beers, again with the trucks, again with the girls. Got a country girl, gotta crack open a cold one, got a new truck, with really shiny colors and paint. Uh, we got some skippy hand clap beats as well as some banjos on this track as well, and it's just a very crappy ending to the album. So overall, again, I would say the biggest bad thing about this album is that it's bland as hell. It's generic as hell, and it's devoid of any creativity whatsoever, especially lyrically. The performances are okay at a few points, and it's just not as cringy as Southside, but still, this album is just, it's like chain smokers making country music. And lyrically, it's like the ideal world according to a 6-year-old who came from Nashville, Tennessee, like the suburbs of Nashville, Tennessee. Like 6-year-olds can write lyrics like this. Like, these are the kinds of lyrics that a 6-year-old would write. You know, I can drink, I can drive, got a woman. Yay, nothing to worry about. Life is simple. And yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Favorite track here is Life Looks Good, and my least favorite is Always Gonna Love You, and my score, my opinion, I'm giving Florida Georgia Line with Life Rolls On a 3 out of 10. So, have you listened to this album from 1 to 10? How much did you rate it? Like it, subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching. I will review more Hong Kong albums, which is pretty exciting. A classic album that I really want to review, though I'm not sure if I'll be able to review it in time. And yeah, Black Dresses, Forever in Your Heart, and the Trippie Redd's Deluxe album, and King Giz LW, even though it's going to be released mid-March, but I'll be waiting for it.